What is up, everybody? Happy Friday, happy weekend. You know what it is. We are back. We are back for another episode of Meet on the 50. It is our weekly picks episode where we are breaking down the action ahead of us for NFL Week 11. So let's not waste any time. Let's start the show. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Meet on the 50, another edition. It is our second episode of the week, which means it is our weekly picks episode where we are going to be picking the action ahead of us for this week in the NFL. And as always, joining me to pick the action, to predict the action, one of my best friends, my compadre, my companion. He's always by my side, Brandon Sullivan. Brandon, how you doing?
Doing good. Ready to jump into these picks and hopefully do better than last week.
Yes. With that being said, right, I'm just so glad you said that because we're not wasting any time this week. Let's put how we did up on the screen for yourself last week, going 7-7, 500, but going 1-0 on the guaranteed victory. For myself, 7-7, going 500 for the week. Unfortunately, 0-1 on my guaranteed victory. I went on a limb, tried to rock with the Bills. What do? Spit in my face. Woe is me, I guess, right? For myself, that is going to put me 0-1 for this week at the guaranteed victory, or last week for the guaranteed victories. Overall for the season, that puts us at, for yourself, 82, 67, and 1, 7-3 on the guaranteed victories. For myself, 86, 63, and 1, 7, 2, and 1 on the guaranteed victories. Whew, man, that took a lot of time. Let's wipe those off the screen. We are on to week 11, right? Before we get into the action, remember, you can follow along with us on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts all season long. And remember, if at any point during this video or podcast you like what you see, do us a favor and smash that like button, smash the subscribe button, and just tap on that bell notification. 1, because it's completely free, and 2, because it completely helps us out. We're trying to grow, right? So help us grow, okay? We're going to be there all season long. So do us a favor and just smash that button for us. All right, let's get into it. We have this week in week 11, we have 4 teams on the bye. We have the Miami Dolphins, Seattle Seahawks, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Jacksonville Jaguars, all on the bye. Some teams need this bye more than the others, but we're not going to focus on these teams. We are going to focus on the games ahead of us. So, starting us off on Thursday, we got a good one. We got the Tennessee Titans traveling up to Lambeau to take on the reeling Green Bay Packers. What do you got for me? Muted.
Yeah, I'm going to roll with Tennessee on this one. I do like their defense. I do think the defense makes the stops that they need.
Okay.
And so I'm going to go ahead and roll with that defense and with Derrick Henry. I'm going to pick them in this one. I think it'll be a pretty close one, but I am going to pick them 28-24.
Wow. Okay. I did not expect that to open up our week. I did expect for you to think that the Titans would have a decent game. Did I think you were going to roll with them? I did not. I am actually going to go with the Packers here. I think the Packers, coming off the momentum of that victory against Dallas, I think they're able to basically carry on that momentum. What an interesting game, the Tennessee Titans versus the Green Bay Packers. That's just a very interesting matchup. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited it's on a Thursday where we can actually kind of spotlight these two teams. Both, right? Titans hanging on to that first place. Packers trying to get into that first place spot, even into that second place spot. I mean, I don't know if they're going to get first at this point with the Vikings. But I do think that the Packers, coming off the momentum victory against Dallas, are able to handle business at home. I got the Green Bay Packers winning 24-21, rattling off another victory when it all seems so bleak. Moving on to Sunday morning. Boy, do we have we have such a good one leading us off. We've got the Chicago Bears traveling to the Peach State of Georgia to take on the Atlanta Falcons. Boy, what do you got for me on this one?
Chicago Bears 30, Atlanta Falcons 24.
Yeah, I'm going Chicago Bears 28-25. Justin Fields, I think, has the fourth consecutive monster game. All that needs to be said. Moving on, we got... If my timeline is correct, we have the return of Felony Hands to lead the Cleveland Dukies against the team who needs to win more than any team, I think, going in, the Buffalo Bills. What do you got for me?
I got the Buffalo Bills in a guaranteed victory. I think Buffalo Bills win this one. I don't think they're going to drop 2 at home consecutively after the loss last week. I think they win this one 31-17.
Yeah, this was going to be an interesting one here. Buffalo Bills, in my opinion, must win this game. They have to. This is kind of a must win just because of how good the NFC East is this year and how good the Buffalo Bills have looked to start the season, right? You can't go into the second half of the season and then completely take a dump. So I do expect the Buffalo Bills here to rebound here. I expect that defense to play a lot better. We will see how Felony Hands does with this team. The Dukies, not too sure, but I'm going Buffalo Bills here, 27-21 in a close game. But like you said, do not see them dropping 2 games at home in back-to-back weeks. Next up, we got the Philadelphia Eagles coming off that big loss to Washington, traveling to Indianapolis to take on the newly Jeff Saturday-led Indianapolis Colts. What do you got for me?
Jeff Saturday's a gimmick. I don't think they win this game. I'm going to pick Philadelphia to bounce back after that loss last week. I think they go right back to where they were. I'm going to pick them 28-17.
Yeah, we shall see what happens with Jeff Saturday as a head coach. I do think you're right. I do kind of think it was the perfect storm situation where you had the Colts who look like crap, and they kind of got this shot in the arm, this little momentum booster. And then you had the Raiders who equally look like crap, but they're just kind of down in the dumps and they're just being dragged down. So it was kind of a perfect storm in that situation where it was very easy to see Jeff Saturday getting his first win last week. This week, however, I don't see it. I do not see him pulling off the upset against the Eagles. 2 weeks in a row, I do not see the Eagles getting upset. I expect that defense to come out with just a major chip on their shoulder, with their heads on fire, looking to basically light up each and every single offensive skill player on the Colts. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I think Darius Big Play Slay has a big play. I think Brandon Graham has some sacks. I think that entire defense goes off. So we're going Philadelphia Eagles here in a close one. I do think the Jeff Saturday-led Colts are a little bit better than the Colts that we saw earlier, but I'm going Eagles 28-24. Next up, we got a division game, and for one, it's a very lopsided division game. We got the New York Jets traveling to Foxborough to take on the New England Patriots. What do you got for me?
Yeah, I'm going to roll with the Patriots on this one. I mean, this is a divisional game. It's a toss-up, but since the Patriots are at home, I think that they get this one done. So expect the defense to play well for both teams, but I think it's a close game. I think New England wins this one 27-23.
Yeah, I think it's 13 consecutive times. It's a lot. It's a lot of consecutive times that the Patriots have beat the Jets. For whatever reason, this is the Jets speed bump. They were able to handle Buffalo, coming off that huge loss against the Patriots that week before. This is going to be a close game, but I'm going to roll with the Patriots here, 21-17. I do think that the Pats defense does come out again and stops the Jets and just makes that AFC East way more interesting. I mean, it's easily the most interesting division of the year, seeing how all 4 teams are now in the playoffs. Man, what a turnaround for an entire division. Not just a team, but a division that, if we look back in the record books, have been a laughingstock for years, for decades. So the AFC East not playing this year, but I got the Patriots handling business 21-17 at home. Next up, we got the Los Angeles Lambs. Sorry. We have the Los Angeles Rams traveling to the Bayou State of Louisiana to travel to New Orleans to take on the New Orleans Saints. What do you got for me?
A lot of irrelevant bad games this week.
Yes.
I'm just going to pick the Los Angeles Rams to win this one 27-17. I just don't think, I know New Orleans is going to put some points up at home, but they struggled last week against Pittsburgh, and whatever. You never know. I think they're really inconsistent. They're erratic, but I don't know. Watching the Rams drop to 3-7. I don't know. I just don't see it. 27-17 Rams.
Okay. I'm with you, man. This schedule is kind of whack this week. I was looking at it and I was like, there are very few games that we can actually really kind of highlight and focus. And to be quite honest with you, they're all kind of in the afternoon setting. So for the morning, we'll get what we take. Usually when games kind of look like this on paper, some of them do end up surprising us in person. So that's what we're kind of hoping here. However, I am going to differ from you here. I am going to go with the New Orleans Saints because they're at home. I do know that, they played shaky at home that one time, but historically and usually they play very well at home. And the Rams without Cooper Kupp, oh no, Matt Stafford, right? What is he going to do? He's going to get exposed. So New Orleans Saints handle business 24-17. The pink water gun going off, calling it now. Next up, we got the Detroit Motor City Lions traveling to the Big Apple to head to New Jersey to play in MetLife to take on the New York Giants. What do you got for me?
Yeah, I got the Giants in this one. I think the Giants handle business again. I think Saquon Barkley has a good game. Detroit, they had a good win last week, but they're very inconsistent as well. I don't think they travel to New York and get this win. Although I wouldn't be shocked, but I would be surprised. So I'm picking the New York Giants to win this game 31-21.
Yeah, I got so close. I am right there with you. The 7-2 Giants, I would be now historically. Would the Giants lose a game like this? Yes, they very well would. Is this Giants team this year going to lose this game to the Detroit Lions? I don't think so. I got the Giants winning 28-21. I think Daniel Jones has a good game. I think Saquon Barkley has a good game. I think some of those receivers have a good game. And that team, the Giants, right? A bunch of what's-us. They're still in the leagues-us. They're retreads, right? You have a bunch of people thrown together to make this team that they're now 7-2. So good for the Lions, like you said. Good for Brian Dable. Good for the New York franchise, right? So good for both New York franchises, just getting off the schneid and actually being competitive this season. Love to see it, but I'm going New York Giants here, 28-21, handling business at home. Next up, we got the Carolina Panthers traveling to Baltimore to take on the Baltimore Ravens. What do you got for me?
Yeah, I just think that the Ravens are overall a better team. I think they play well. I think Lamar has a good game. I think they win this one 35-17.
Yeah, man, oh man, the Panthers against the Ravens. Talk about a who gives a crap game. Holy moly. Baltimore, 27-17. Okay, moving on. Next up, we got the Washington Commanders traveling down to Houston to take on the Houston Texans. What do you got for me on this one? And this very well could be the Dumpster Fire Bowl. However, Commanders win. Texans are getting that monocle. They are getting it.
No dumpster fire for the Redskins. Not anymore.
Yep. After last night, I think we can successfully drop the dumpster fire at 5-5. Half game off the playoff hunt. Washington Dumpster Fire Commanders, no longer Dumpster Fire. Washington Commanders traveling down to Houston to take on the Houston Texans. What do you got for me?
I think it's a close game. in Houston. I think it's a defensive game. I'm going to pick Washington here. I'm not sure who the quarterback's going to be, so I'm going to pick 2017 Washington.
Okay, yeah, I'm kind of with you here. After Washington's performance last week, now could I see them come out and just lay an absolute egg against Houston and just further being like, oh yeah, we are the Dumpster Fire Commanders? Yes, I could see that. But after they played last week, after the kind of the fuel and injection that Taylor Heineke gives this team, I would be hard pressed to see Ron Rivera go away from him until he kind of forces his hand back to Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is not going to get you anywhere. It's proven. He's not going to get you anywhere. His chance to get you somewhere was with the Eagles. He got hurt. And what did Nick Foles do? Led the team to a Super Bowl. Oh, and he just won. So Carson Wentz is going to be always that guy that is just, you just think is just not good enough. He's good, Not good enough. So Taylor Heineke, I would just roll with him, whether you guys win, lose, draw, what have you. Washington Commanders are a lot better team led by Taylor Heineke. So I'm going Commanders here. I got a high-scoring game. I'm going Commanders here, 32-24, handling business on the road, making some noise in that NFC East after that rough start. Washington Commanders handling business on the road. Moving on to our afternoon games. We got the Las Vegas Raiders. Sorry, the Las Vegas Raided, because they don't raid, they get raided. So we got the Las Vegas Raided taking on the Denver Donkeys. What do you got for me in this exciting game?
Not much. I mean, it's going to be a rough game, but you know what? I'm going to go with the Raiders here. I think the Raiders do win this game 20-13.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I said I was done with them, but there is no way in hell I am picking the Denver Donkeys after experiencing their fans, after experiencing watching them play football. Very painful. I would rather gouge my eyeballs out than watch this game. However, I'm going to go with the Las Vegas Raiders 24-10 because they scored 10 points last week. Maybe Russ can score one more point than 9 points again. So let's see here. The Raiders rated 24-10, handling business against the Donkeys. Here we go. Now we got our prime time thrillers, throwdowns, good games, all on the docket. Let's get into it. Moving on to our second afternoon game, we got the Dallas Cowboys, who need a bounce back win here, traveling up to Minnesota. Not a far journey from Wisconsin, but they're traveling to Minnesota to take on the Minnesota Vikings. What do you got for me?
That was funny. You said not a far journey from Wisconsin. Oh, yeah. Because they played that's right. They played the Packers, right?
Yep.
So they're not even going to go back home, probably.
Nope.
They might as well just stay.
They're on the road.
They're
in a hotel right now.
They might as well just stay on the road. You're right.
Yeah. They're in a hotel.
They didn't even get a chance to go home. So I don't know about that. I don't know if that's good. But, I'm going to pick Minnesota here. I think Minnesota gets this one done. I'm going to take Minnesota. I think it's a close game, but I'm going to pick Minnesota 31-24. I think that they get the run game going. I think obviously Justin Jefferson has a good game. He's had a really good season, and Dalvin Cook's had a really good season as well. And the defense is kind of firing on all cylinders. So, but I think Dallas will do enough to keep themselves in the game. But Minnesota does play very well at home. So coming off of the momentum from last week, I think this will be a big time game for them, and this could potentially. Put them in the driver's seat, fighting for that number one seed. So I think that at this point they're going to be going blow for blow with Philadelphia for that number one seed. Obviously, they have to edge them out with a better win. They got to have at least one more win because they lost to them early in the season.
Yep.
So the tiebreaker would go to Philly. So I think it's important as long as Philly is winning, they need to continue winning as well. So don't see them dropping this game. However, I would not be surprised because you just never know with Kirk Cousins. But I do anticipate that he will have a good game. So 31-24 Minnesota.
Yeah, the Minnesota Vikings, man, what an interesting season they are having. The Dallas Cowboys, what a very Dallas Cowboys season that they are having. Man, this one is just split down the middle, right? This could go either way. Either team could win here. I can see the Dallas Cowboys winning. I can see the Vikings winning. I'm going to roll with the Vikings here, 24-21 to handle business at home. The only reason why I am rolling with the Vikings here is because as opposed to the Dolphins beating the Bills, the Dolphins had to play on Thursday. Short week, trap game, could easily see them losing to the Bengals. The Vikings, early morning thriller, they win. Guess what? They get to actually wait and they get to rest longer because they're now the afternoon game. So the Minnesota Vikings here, I think, actually are a benefactor of that little scheduling tweak, that little scheduling gift, I think you should call it. But the Minnesota Vikings here with that afternoon game, I think that is one of the main reasons why they're able to do that is because they're able to rest and get relaxed and ready for this game. This is a big game. This is a big game here. Much more important, though, for the Dallas Cowboys and the Minnesota Vikings. So look out for that. Dallas could be playing with a different type of hunger than we've seen, but I'm going Minnesota Vikings here, 24-21, handling business at home. And our last game of the afternoon. And, NFL, I have so much to say to you. So much to say to you. You disrespect my guy Joey again, I'm coming to that office. I'm smacking the shit out of all of you. Just throwing it out there, okay?
Watch your mouth.
I'm sorry. You know, they disrespected my guy, okay? I'm sorry. I apologize. Brandon's right. My bad. Our last game of the afternoon, we got the Cincinnati Bengals traveling to Pittsburgh, divisional game to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. What do you got for me?
Yeah, I think your guy Joey comes out and gets 4 touchdown passes. I'm picking Cincinnati in this game. I do think they win this one 35-21.
Man, if Joey comes out and throws 4 touchdown passes, what a relief that will be for my soul, my mind, my brain, my heart, every part of my body. That would be very nice. I have this game being much closer with the return of TJ Watt. Mika Fitzpatrick being out definitely helps out Joey in that secondary. We shall see if Jamar plays. He's going to be kind of a game time decision. I know that they were looking at possibly bringing him back for this game. Definitely, possibly next week if he doesn't come back this week. If he does come back this week, that is going to be huge for Joey and the Bengals. However, I think they should. Obviously, I'm going to roll with my team. I'm not going to roll with the Steelers. I'm going Bengals here, 28-17. Close game on the road, but they get a much needed division victory. We go 0-6 in the division this year. I'm going to lose my mind. So Cincinnati Bengals handle business on the road, 28-17, getting a big victory. Our prime time game of the evening now is the Kansas City Chiefs traveling to San Diego. Just kidding. Los Angeles to take on the Los Angeles Chargers of San Diego. What do you got for me?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a hard-fought divisional game. It's going to be interesting to see who the Chargers do get back. I do think that, obviously they were, it was rough for them last week because, I think it might have been a different story if they had their players, but all the what-ifs don't amount to anything. So I'm going to go ahead and pick Kansas City in this one. Wouldn't be surprised if the Chargers won this game. They have been the one team that has really given Kansas City some trouble over the years. In that division.
Yep.
But I am going to pick Kansas City in a close one. I do think that comes down to a field goal score, 31-28. I think that it's going to be close because it's in LA, but I just think that, Patrick Mahomes is going to be a little too much for that defense.
Yeah, I got the Chiefs winning again. I got the Chiefs sweeping the season series for this year against the Chargers. Chargers had the chance. It was last time. I do not see it playing out this time, especially with the injuries that the Chargers have suffered, right? Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, their tight end, their linemen, their defensemen. Yeah, it's just injuries. Injuries have plagued the Chargers for inconsistency. Like you said, right? Would we be surprised if the Chargers win this game? No. But, I think both of us fully expect the Chiefs to go in there and handle business, and that's what we got. I got Chiefs handling business 32-30. Both of us have close games. Both of us have 30-point Chiefs wins. Chiefs continue to roll, continue to own the AFC West. I thought the Raiders would make some noise. Clearly, I was wrong. Chiefs handle business on the road 32-30. And our last game on Monday night, back-to-back primetime games, we got the San Francisco 49ers traveling to the desert, not the Las Vegas desert, the Arizona desert, to take on their division opponent. That is the Arizona Cardinals. What do you got for me?
Yeah, actually, they're going to be traveling to Mexico City because if they played in the desert, I would be going. So
sorry. Let me correct myself. They're playing in the desert, not the Las Vegas desert, not the Arizona desert. We're going down to Viva la Mexico, baby. We are going to Estadio Azteca, where 100,000 screaming fans are going to be going bananas because, yes, you're right, my friend. We got the San Francisco 49ers traveling down to Mexico to take on the Arizona Cardinals. There we go. What do you got for me to end our week?
Yeah, it should be a good game. That's kind of cool that they're going to Mexico. Honestly, I wish it was a different game because I was looking forward to going to the Arizona Desert to watch the game with my family. But unfortunately, I'll have to wait till next year. But it should be an interesting game. You know, it's obviously we'll have to see if Kyler Murray comes back. Obviously, I still got faith in them with Colt McCoy. He's played well as a backup for them. So got to roll with my team, though. Always got to roll with my team. I think that this is a close one. It's just a divisional game. I think, you know, down the stretch, there's going to be some close games. The 49ers are going to have to find ways to win. But this is just like last week. I think they're going to start off slow and then end the game strong. So I'm going to pick the 49ers to beat the Arizona Cardinals in Mexico City. I do think they win this one 28-25.
Yeah, you know, this is going to be an interesting game here. I think these international games kind of throws it up in the air. I mean, that would have been cool, right? Like you said, you do go to this game every year. You would have gone to one primetime game and then immediately gone to another primetime game. That would have been super cool, but that's the way the cookie crumbles, I guess. However, with that being said, Niners handle business in Mexico. 27-24 field goal game. I think it comes down to the wire. Obviously, the big storyline is going to be Kyler Murray. I do think this game is a lot more competitive with him in it. Colt McCoy, like you said, serviceable backup, but I do think that 49er defense is going to be way too much for the Arizona Cardinals and Colt McCoy down there in Mexico. So I fully expect that no matter who is in the backfield, the San Francisco 49ers handle business on the road in Mexico City, 27-24. Rolling along and showing that they are the true dominant team in that NFC West. Man, some good ones, some bad ones, and some in-betweens. But that is going to do it for our picks for NFL Week 11. We got some good games. We got some decent games. We got some stinkers. Boy, oh boy, the only thing left is just to kind of sit back and watch all this action unfold this week. And hopefully we get some decent games Sunday, Thursday, Monday, all 3 days that NFL is played, right? As always, Brandon, I want to thank you, our viewers, for taking the time for listening to our thoughts, analysis, predictions, expectations, all that good stuff. We hope that we have done enough to keep you coming back for more week in and week out. Be sure, if you haven't already, to check out our review episode to catch up on all the storylines building up to week 11, building up to our week in the NFL this week. Brandon, any last words for the people?
Just looking forward to, hopefully another, win for both of our teams en route to try to hopefully face each other in the Super Bowl. Not too excited about this week. A lot of bad matchups. May not even watch the morning window, but we'll see. Time is valuable, man. And if I'm not liking what I'm seeing, I'm not going to sit there and watch it. So give me some better matchups. But hopefully the 49ers are able to get a big win in Mexico, and hopefully the Cincinnati Bengals are able to avoid disaster and not lose to the Pittsburgh Steelers, because
I like it. Yep,
gotta get a divisional win. Gotta get a divisional win. Cincinnati needs that badly.
Yep. I could not have said it better myself, right? Hopefully games are better in person than they are on paper, but you know what we say. That is going to do it for this week's edition of Meat on the 50. This episode of Meat on the 50. As always, right? We want to thank you guys for joining us. That is one of my best friends, Brandon Sullivan. I am Jacob Coe, the fantasy guy. And until next week, Brandon and Jake, we're out.